What is up, Pal fam? Welcome to day 99 of Countdown to FIDE 100. We're just definitely close to wrap things up here at the Countdown to FIDE 100. We've started back in April 11, after I came an idea when I was like eating dinner back in April that I want to do showcasing 100 days in 100 years, and now we're here. We're almost there. 2022. One of my golden years in this decade is just which I could say 2022 is the last year for me as of now to like it's just like very peace for me, like nothing bothers me. Yeah, and it's like very crazy. And that's the only it's like once in a lifetime experience having 3 twos in the year. Alright, in 2022, we have a game between Magnus Carlsen and Hans Niemann. This was the game that people were talking about throughout 2022. But yeah, we're gonna show you 2 games for both Magnus Carlsen and Hans Niemann. Yeah. Okay, let's begin. The game begins with d4, and then knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4, g3, castles, bishop g2, d5, a3, bishop takes, d takes, knight f3. Stating that queen a4 was played in Hikaru's game against Perez in 2017. State is trying to like try to take this. Yeah, it's a gambit after all, because what we see here, he always goes for the c4 gambit, and people does. So let's go back. c5 continues the game, but in the Halcas Taidai Van Nguyen last year 2021, it continues with b5, and can possibly go here and here. That could go one. He just wants to defend this. This pawn is right there. The problem for black is that he has now a double pawn. After c5, Magnus castles, but the better one is knight e5, c takes, queen takes, c takes, c3, bishop e3, knight to d5, rook c1, and the position goes equal. I'd say I'm gonna go for this later on, but yeah, there's nothing to defend this pawn, which seems sense for me, but all we can know is he can go on here, but let's just say he does this to try to go here and try to defend this. He's going to take it, he's going to take it back, it's gonna take their pawn, so this knight is gonna be too late. Going back to castle, the game continues with c6 d4, but the better one is bishop d7, knight e5, bishop c6, knight takes, d takes, queen a5, bishop f4, rook fd8, and it's an equal position. Yeah, about that double pawn for Magnus if this game would have been played. He can go here to try to take with this, and no, and aim for this knight. You can just like try to go here. No. You can just go on here for quite some time, or he could go queen c2, and if he tries to attack this even more, he can either take this or either go for this square and try to defend that, or maybe he can also go here. That could possibly work. Back to c6 d4, the game continues with queen takes, knight c6, queen takes e5, bishop g5 h6, and rook fd1, stating that the better is take it, and queen b5 a6, queen b6, knight d4, knight, okay. If he's going to take it, he's gonna lose the queen. So, yeah. So after queen b2, knight takes, e takes, and the position is equal. However, what I've heard about this is going to take here if I'm going to move. Because I think it's a bad idea for black to do knight d4. But at the same time, he cannot go here. He cannot go here because it's check. I mean, he's going to take it, but he can go on here. So if he goes to check, this queen cannot be moved because it's in check. So he has to go king h1 and he's going to take it. So it makes sense after all. So you'll probably lose the exchange with one pawn. Back to rook fd1, the game continues with bishop e6, rook takes, bishop takes, rook takes, bishop takes, g takes, and king f1, which is a bad move, stating that knight h4 could fix it, and then bishop takes, knight f5, bishop d3, knight takes, king g7, rook d1, bishop g6, knight g4, and it would remain in an equal position. Yeah, it's shocking for Magnus to get a bad move in this position, but I think it's already an endgame. He's trying to go on this center and aim to win this game. Rook d8 continues the game, but that's black having a slight advantage. So the game continues with bishop e6, or the variation states bishop e6, king e1, knight a5, knight d2, rook c8, knight e4, f5, knight d6, rook takes. So black has a slight advantage. That would ever make sense. So going back to rook d8, the game continues with king e1, knight a5, rook d1, rook c8, knight d2, bishop e6, c4, bishop takes. But I mean, he's going to take it. He has no choices, and just one for white. But still, it's already about time for the endgame. Move the king first. That's better. And then bishop d5, king e7, rook b1, b6, bishop takes, f takes, rook c1, e4, and black's had a slight advantage. Back to bishop takes. Knight takes continues the game, but the better one is knight e4, bishop b3, rook b1, b6, knight takes, king g7, knight e4, bishop e6, knight d6, rook c5. And that's an equal position. Going back to knight takes, the game continues with rook takes, rook check, king g7, bishop d5, rook c7, rook a8, a6, rook b8, f5. But he could fix it with knight c6 at the same time. This pawn is also defended. Okay, knight c6 could have fixed it, and then rook e8, knight e7, bishop g2, f5, e4, f4, g takes, e takes, e5, and black's position will have like a slight advantage over here. Back to f5, the game continues with rook e8, but that's it could have been a slight advantage remains. After f3, knight c6, bishop takes, rook takes, rook takes, rook c3, a4, rook c4, rook e7, king f6. Okay, this rook can go on here. So king f6 continues the game, but going back to rook e8, or should I say, I forgot, I just paused something because somebody's trying to disrupt my voice or my surroundings. He could have gone on here for the rook. So going back to rook e8, e4 for Hans, and Magnus is in trouble again with g4, which is another bad move. Could have fixed it with rook d8, knight c4, a4, king f6, and rook d8, king g7, h3, king f6, and black's position will have like a slight advantage over here. After g4, the game continues with rook c5, with black having a slight advantage, or a better position now. Black is, because when you see it here, it's black is better, and the other one is slightly better. So bishop a2 continues the game, knight c4, a4, knight d6, and rook e7. That's 3 bad moves for Magnus. Could have gone with rook d8 as usual, but could go e3, f takes, knight e4, king f1, rook c1, king g2, rook c2, bishop d5, and black's position will have like a slight advantage. Ever make sense? It is. Going back to rook e7, there's f takes, which, however, Hans also made a bad move. Can go rook c2, bishop b3, rook c3, bishop a2, f takes, and then rook d7, knight c4, king f1, rook c2, and black's position will have like a slight advantage. It would never make sense after all. F takes g4 is a bad move, and the game continues with rook d7 with black still remaining in a better position, and then e3, f takes, knight e4. I think he's threatening checkmate because if he tries to checkmate on here, he cannot go on here, so king f1 needs to go. And Hans, it's a mistake. Yeah. Rook c1 is fine, but rook f5 is much better. King g2, b6, rook e7, knight c5, king g3, king f8, rook c7, and h5, and black's position on like a slight advantage. Would never make sense. Yeah. Back to rook c1, the game continues with king g2, rook c2, bishop takes, rook takes, king g1, rook e1, king g2, rook e2, king g1, king f6, and bishop d5, which is another bad move for Magnus. Yeah, I think this bishop is safe as long as this rook defends it and no piece trying to attack this, like let's say the knight, let's say the rook. Yeah, you can just go rook takes, and then if the time that he's getting attacked, then go bishop h5, and then knight f3, king f1, rook to c2, h4, rook c5, rook b6, king g7, and black's position will have like a slight advantage, if it would ever make sense. So going back to bishop d5, the game continues with rook d2, which is a bad move for Hans. Could have gone with rook e1, king g2, rook b1, rook f7, king g6, rook e7, rook d2, king g1, and rook takes d5 with black having a black going to win here. And he can just like take it as well, and maybe he's going to promote these pawns with no hesitation soon after. Okay, back to rook d2, rook f7 continues the game, and then king g6, and Magnus goes rook d7, which is another bad move. He could have fixed it with rook e7, rook takes, king g5, h3, h5, h6, h6, rook e7, king h4, and black having a better position here. But however, after knight g5, black is absolutely winning. Despite the ones that if I'm going to go for bishop f7, which actually happened in the game, he's not going to go like this because he's going to lose the rook. However, Hans made a mistake with king f5, which I don't know why, but it just makes sense. King f6 could fix it, and if he takes it, knight f3. This is what I meant. Is still trying to attack this. Um. So yeah, the knight on g5 defends the knight f3 that defends that attacks the knight g5. The knight on g5 attacks. I mean controls the knight. Controls the f3 square that attacks the d2 square. So it goes on check. That's why. And if king takes, knight takes, continues. Bishop e8, knight e4, bishop d7, knight b6, and black is definitely going to win. And let's see how it ended. King f5 after this, and then rook takes, knight f3, king g2, knight takes, a5, knight e5, king e5 rather, king g3, knight f1, king f2, knight takes, king e4, king takes, bishop e6, king f4, bishop c8, knight f3, bishop takes, knight e5, bishop takes, knight c6, bishop d7, knight takes, bishop d5, h5, bishop f7, h4, bishop d5, king e5, and Magnus resigned. Yep. If you haven't knew this game, and you're like a Magnus fan, like, oh, I was shocked that like you were going to be shocked, but that Magnus lost to Hans. And if the game would have been continued, the game continues with bishop a8, knight b3, king f1, knight b4, bishop b7, h3, bishop c8, king f4, bishop d7, knight f3, and yeah, black is going to win. No choice for the passed pawn right there. Even is going to take this. There's no choice. So yeah, Magnus won and Magnus lost and Hans won. But this was like the start of the controversy of the allegations of Hans cheating. So I'm gonna show you the second game in just a bit. Okay, so we have another game, but it's still a game between Magnus Carlsen and Hans Niemann. And this game was played in chess24.com, which right now is already gone, and it's just like, let's just say it's another social media version of chess.com, something like that, because chess.com acquires it and all this stuff. Yeah. So we're gonna take a look at this game in in Julius Baer Generation Cup, held online as usual. Which pandemic isn't that much right now. So yeah, we're gonna take a look. Let's see. The game begins with Hans going d4, and then Magnus goes knight f6, and then c4, and the game ends. Yeah, I'm not joking. This game has already been ended. It's over. Magnus resigned. But let's see. But a better one is knight f3, yep, e6, knight b2, d5, b3, bishop d6, e3, castles, bishop b2, knight bd7, and it's still going to be an equal position. And if the game would have been continued, you couldn't go e6 and then knight f3, d5, knight f3, not knight c3, knight f3, d5, knight c3, c6, e3, knight bd7, queen c2, bishop d6, and bishop d3. All of them are in book move. So it's an equal position. But however, c4, Magnus resigns. This is where the controversy began. It was, let's take a look. I'm gonna read it for you. So last time when I showed you, it was like the Cinquefield Cup. Let me take a look. All right. So I'm gonna read something. So the game I showed you earlier is the third round of the 2022 Cinquefield Cup. So Niemann defeated then world chess champion
Magnus Carlsen with the black pieces, playing the Ninja Indian defense. Niemann's live rating surpassed 2,700 for the first time with this win. Carlsen withdrew from the cup the following day, revealing his decision through a cryptic tweet, or a post right now on X, that included a video of Portuguese football manager Jose Mourinho saying, "If I speak, I'm in big trouble and I don't want to be in big trouble." Although Carlsen did not make any explicit accusations himself, his tweet, coupled with the heightened security measures implemented at the tournament after his defeat, suggested the presence of an allegation regarding Niemann cheating over the board, an accusation denied by Niemann and several commentators. Niemann continued the tournament with 4 draws and 2 losses. So this was the beginning. And Niemann faced Carlsen again in a much anticipated game. This was I showed you earlier in the Julius Bayer Generation Cup. Carlsen resigned the game after one move. So after, like you see right now, d4, knight f6, and c4, he resigned after one move, further fueling the controversy. It has been characterized as the most serious cheating controversy for international chess since the Toiletgate incident in the World Chess Championship 2006. Many chess players and public figures commented on the controversy, including former world champion Garry Kasparov. On September 26, 2022, Carlsen accused Niemann of cheating in a statement post on Twitter. Carlsen stated that he had considered withdrawing from the Sinquefield Cup due to Niemann's last-minute inclusion, believed that Niemann cheated and more often and more recently than he had publicly admitted, and was convinced by Niemann's behavior during their cup game to withdraw from the tournament. He stated that he was limited in what he could say openly without explicit permission from Niemann, and that he would not play chess with Niemann in the future. So that was the start of the controversy in this game. So yeah. So right now, let's just say I don't hate Hans Niemann. I don't hate Magnus. They just do what they do, but cheating is no good. Because if you play chess and you cheat, you're gonna get banned on any chess website, chess.com, Lichess, or even suspended in FIDE Online Arena. So don't cheat. So yeah, this was the start of the controversy, and that was like it happened. But I think it's already over as of now. But yeah, okay. We're gonna conclude it. Thank you for watching POW. Don't forget to subscribe and become a patron. Remember patreon.com/PaulPower. And for the notice, once again, I don't hate Hans Niemann. I don't hate Magnus Carlsen. I'm not here to make hate in this video. So please understand me that I'm just covering a game. Okay. And we're just less than 48 hours away before FIDE turns 100. So I'll see you tomorrow once again for another day of Countdown to FIDE 100, and don't forget to join us in the International Chess Day Guinness World Records attempt with FIDE. I'm also going to involve there. I'm just gonna play chess tournaments, and you can find it out on 100.fide.com/gwr. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow for the penultimate video of Countdown to FIDE 100.